What's going on? How y'all doing? So we're going to about Anthony Edwards put his foot in the pile, and Isiah Thomas is clapping back on him. But let me address this. Anthony Edwards said during Michael Jordan's era, only Michael Jordan was the only athletic player during his era. Actually, but let me tell you why he's not. He's wrong, but he's not ignorant. And Isiah Thomas clapped back because Isiah Thomas has been disrespected. And I did a video about Isiah Thomas not getting his due. Some people got problem with Isiah Thomas because he started pushing LeBron over Jordan as if they're the only one and two players you can make debates. But Isiah Thomas never dissed the era he came up in either. And then keep that twisted because I said Isiah Thomas, a lot of cats are adept to him. But anyway, Anthony Edwards says he's only watched players because Kevin Durant has been his favorite player. He considered him his GOAT. And there's nothing wrong with that because that's all he's known. And you're going to usually gravitate to what you grew up in. But I noticed that black NBA players are usually the players in the old school gets dissed more than any other sport. Any other sport. Other sports not so quick. But this NBA, they diss. Now, Magic Johnson was a 5-tool player. Larry Bird, skills behind the back could do things. Bernard King, skills. Dominique Wilkins. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Tim Duncan, Shaquille O'Neal, Hakeem Olajuwon with Dream Shakes moves, David Robinson. Are you kidding me? Karl Malone. Come on now. You're going to say that you only seen guys the day they can do all those things and before we get to Kobe Bryant and all that? No. But Anthony Edwards is programmed the way they want it to be. It's not really Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless's fault either, even though they trolled and they did it. Let me tell you who did this. And before you get to J.J. Redick, who said stuff about the plumbers and the bill collectors and the Jehovah's Witnesses and the knock on your door, he got that blueprint as Adam Silver did from you know who. The you know who was David Stern. Because they never talk about Dr. J in the ABA or Wilt Chamberlain or Earl Pearl Monroe who didn't want to talk to them because they used to ignore them. If you remember NBC Sports in the 90s, it was always about pushing the new. They sold the narrative that the league didn't really happen with Russell and Chamberlain and those guys, or George Milken and Nate Thurman, all them guys, and Oscar Robinson and Jerry West. They'll tell you that it all happened because of Bird and Magic. The lethal weapon exchange. Then a guy named Jordan comes along and it's like, oh, kumbaya. And then we fast forward to Shaquille and Kobe. And then we get to LeBron and all that. That's what they sold you on. David Stern is the culprit. Now, I know Anthony Edwards is too young to know, and I'm not going to come at him all the way. They have not done a good job of educating just the history within its own self. That's one of the reasons why I had a hot and cold thing with David Stern, because he's the one who started this. They did that mess to push it in a modern context. Because if you're old enough to remember when the games used to be, we used to have like 10 for you for an antenna because the games were on tape delay. You know what I'm talking about. So Anthony Edwards is actually following the quota, but Adam Silver is following from David Stern. Now how they didn't Eurofy this league now, and you can walk and you can carry and everything that you see, they're doing everything now to manipulate. Actually, Anthony Edwards, as wrong as he is, he ain't all wrong. Because it really ain't him that's pushing this agenda. It's the powers that be. You never have any of the owners say anything about the game. And they had to go along and get along with whatever they wanted to sell it as a superstar base. So when they got the baton from Magic and Bird and pushed it on to Jordan, they sold that narrative to the Shaq and Kobe thing happened. And until the next thing happened. Slightly happened with Dwayne Wade, but then it definitely went on to LeBron. And then Steph come along. And Durant was in between it. And then you had the foreign exchange. And then that's what's up. But this has been done, calculated by the powers that be. Anthony Edwards is just saying, echoing like a parrot, what these owners and these people really are doing. I think you got to really look at what is going on here. Though he's young and impressionable, and he made a what you call an ignorant remark, He's not dumb. He's actually doing what they want. This is what he is doing, the same thing that you have these sold out artists do in the music industry who try to downplay Michael Jackson and tell you that Chris Brown is on his level and he's the coming up, and you got these artists, people saying this stuff. It's the same propaganda. It's always a way to take away a dominant source. But they doing it because they want to make everything in the news seem like it's of the equivalent. But they can't tell you why it's not. They'll blame it on the this and that, but they won't tell you that we're not playing the same level playing field. See, they've bent the rules and they've done things to manipulate things. So Anthony Edwards is just like one of those heads that's going to say that to be expected. He's going to diss the game, just like people are going to come around now and diss music from back in the day and say Chris Brown, without having to recollect. But it's the powers that be are pushing this agenda. And they tell these sports heads what to say. That sells ratings. That sells interest. That sells ooh and ah. It's a manipulation. That's why when you go see movies and you got all this anime and all this high techery, it makes it look like the old films were just, that was back then. But they're trying to downplay the quality. And that's what they try to do with the talents. From an Elgin Baylor to Bob McAdoo. I can just think, Moses Malone. They try to do all this stuff. They always try to do this. They won't tell you. They won't tell you what the cats had to go through, Spencer Haywood. They won't tell you what they had to go through. They do things to manipulate because of what they want, to sell the agenda. And they'll get somebody that's hot happening to say, to echo what they want. But this is more to do with me between the powers that be. They've pushed that agenda on. That's why the Brian Windhorses and all these people in the media have to push this lackluster Olympic team on you. And so it's just reading off the script. Then you get a guy like Isiah Thomas who has to kind of play both ends because he was dominant for his time. 4 straight Eastern Conference Finals, 3 straight to the finals, 2 back-to-back chips, and a Finals MVP. But he didn't get his just due. He didn't get rewarded. So he was left bitter, and he got left off the Dream Team. So he's kind of nudged it against Jordan, but he's played in the media and he's played in the streets. But this is what they do. And like how begrudgingly Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has to begrudgingly be there with LeBron. He didn't say anything bad. Magic brought it up. See, it's been an agenda. And that's why people think you have to kiss the ring. Go along, get along, no matter who you are. There's a lot to this. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another shitter. If you like, please hit that membership because whatever you request, I bring it back to you. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay cool, stay calm, stay collective, stay hydrated, stay well, stay woke, stay focused. I'm back one time. I'm out.